Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I take it now that the tenants are just splitting the bill in some way?
I think so. Mr. Plessinger, RLP Properties owned the property before, and sometime it was gone through several changes of hands. And I don't know, maybe at one point in time, somebody occupied the premise area, and so they merged the utility boxes. But I'm not sure how he was handling that, and that's kind of the conundrum for the new owner. How do you possibly allocate what percentage of use the 3 upstairs tenants have and the couple living downstairs full time? 60-40, 50-50, there's really no way to fairly allocate it. And so what I'm suggesting is the box is in place, an electrician has certified that it can be turned on, and we think it's fair and reasonable that the upstairs tenant pay their fair share, downstairs tenant pay their fair share. And I'm just arguing the other side that I don't see that as a furtherance of a non-conforming use. If anything, I think it would bring it more in conformance because you've got separate uses going on for the upstairs and the downstairs. And again, I just don't see where there's any harm in denying this request. And then I would want to refer to one other thing. With the Board of Adjustments, you've got some very bright, astute individuals on that board. Larry Hale asked several insightful questions, and his comments were to the effect of what I think your concern is when you're trying to avoid furtherance of a non-conforming use is as to density. But this particular piece of property, where it's located, where it is in East Point, there may have been a density concern at some time in the past, but now you have the water sewer access. So we're not looking at septic tanks and so on and so forth. And Mr. Hale very clearly expressed that he did not have any of the density related concerns that one would normally have when they would be inclined to deny the request. And he was the individual who made the motion to approve, and the chair made the second. And again, it was not unanimous, but it was the recommendation. It was the recommendation of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I've got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark, let me ask you a question. Has this property at any time been grandfathered in as a duplex?
I don't know when it became a duplex. You know, we don't keep records of all the duplexes in the county. But the records we have show, don't show when it became a duplex. I presume at some point in the past it did. No one called to complain to us if it was in the recent memory. So I presume it was grandfathered in the past.
I'm just trying to see, because it's, the person, the lady from Germany, she said that she bought it as a C4 mixed-use commercial, whatever, and that it was grandfathered in as a duplex. And if it was grandfathered in as a duplex, that's why you got the two electrical things there. So I'm just wondering, because one of the electrical things had the green sticker and the other one doesn't.
Right.
So they've been using off of one because they couldn't get the usage of both of them because it was, as the attorney said, a non-conforming use. So,
Right.
okay.
And if I may, Commissioner Sanders, when Margarita closed on the property, it was her understanding that there were 2 boxes in place. And I know that's irrelevant, but it was her understanding that it had been grandfathered in and that both boxes were in use. And then after she acquired the property, she discovered that they weren't, and the tenants asked her to assist them with this, and so she's doing so at her own expense.
Mr. Chairman, I had a question for
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Schuler.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the precedent that this might establish. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I'm concerned because right now you have C4, which, as I said, allows either for one residential or one commercial, or you can have the mixed use with one residential and one commercial. What you now have is C4 in this one unit in East Point that now has 2 residential uses. You can talk all day long about the current tenants, but we don't make planning decisions based on the current occupant of the land. You make land use decisions based on what the zoning is and what your code provides. And so now if you set the precedent of having 2 meter bases with 2 residential units, I'm concerned about the plethora of residential C4 zoning on the island. Now, does one instance necessarily mean that you can never say no in the future? I don't believe that to be true. I believe you could probably argue successfully in court. When you do one, you're gonna have everybody else, just like you had in here earlier. We want to be treated equal. We want to be treated the same. How can you do for them and not for me? So you create this political problem for the board to deal with going into the future that you can avoid if you would just simply apply the plain language of your zoning code today and avoid that. I mean, it's not much of a hardship that we're hearing here about 1 meter base with 2 residential units. And again, you're not sitting in the capacity to make a decision based on a variance due to hardship. You're here in an appellate capacity to determine whether or not Mr. Currington has correctly interpreted and applied your code. And my recommendation to you is that I believe that he has correctly interpreted and applied your code in this instance. Now, if you find that to be an incorrect decision by Mr. Currington and my recommendation be incorrect, then you have the authority to move forward and grant the request. If you think that the request for the recommendation and the interpretation from staff is correct, then I think you are required to uphold Mr. Currington's decision. But if you think it to be an incorrect decision, then clearly you have the authority to grant the application.
Follow-up question, Mr. Chairman? Procedurally, if we wanted to take the recommendation of the county planner,
You would have a motion to deny the application and recommendation from your Board of Adjustment, as opposed to approve the recommendation from the Board of Adjustment. So if you wanted to grant the application, then you would approve the recommendation from the BOA. If you wanted to deny the application and find that Mr. Currington and the recommendation from the attorney are correct, then it would be a motion to deny the recommendation from the Board of Adjustment and also to deny the application.
Can I have a question?
Yes, sir.
I know we talking about water meter, but I'm in a electric box, but do it have 2 water meters?
It does not. I think the request is, I thought I heard Mike say it was for 2 meter bases and 2, I guess, water and sewer connections. That's what I thought I heard.
I think that is in there.
Or it don't
Yes,
have
it
but
says
one?
right here, 2 meters provided, 2 sewer water and sewer meters. Property is located 4th, 3rd Street, East Point, Florida.
No, but I seen where it had the 2 meters, but I don't see the maximum about the water.
If I may.
They got to put that in,
Yeah, that's part of the request.
According to this here, is that the request, or are they done there?
The
It's
law.
my understanding that there's only 1 water meter.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here, yeah, okay, allow 2, okay.
To allow.
Yeah.
The portion in connection with the water meter is withdrawn. Now, it's purely the separation for the 2 existing electric meters that's being sought.
So they're going to be splitting the water and sewer but not the electric? Now,
I'm not sure how that's been resolved, but it's been resolved.
logically, that just doesn't make much.
I think there were 2 water taps already on the premises. But I am not certain in that regard. I just know that it's the electricity that she's seeking the discretionary approval for.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion.
Yes, sir.
For 3 reasons, I'm going to move we deny this motion. 1, the hardship is not great, and 2, on the recommendation of the county attorney and the county planner.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Mark. All right, Commissioners, the final item, and that is the reconsideration. This is the item, correct me, Dan, is that, for that riprap revetment that Commissioner Sanders wanted you to go back and
I don't want
modify?
none of it. I'm just telling you, I don't want none of it. You know why I'm saying it, Dan?
But we do have a hardship.
Oh,
We got a house out in the water that the county permitted,
I know,
and there's a bunch of other lots out there that can
but I don't
probably
want
be.
none of it.
Yeah. But what I did do, and I asked you to come along, but I guess you couldn't make it. That's okay. I did go down and looked all over Alligator Point and all those other areas through there. And what I did see was that the smaller rocks that you're talking about, they got slung. This size, these guys, no. And so I went back to talk to my client, and she did agree to put all big rocks versus anything small whatsoever.
Supposed to be batting across 98 if you don't watch out.
What's that now?
I said those little rocks will be batting across 98.
That's why we're getting rid of them.
Yeah. Listen to this old commissioner. I know something every now and
Well,
then.
and I've been seeing it myself a bit, but I did go down and took a good look at Alligator Point, and so after that and a little bit, it's gonna cost her more, but she's willing to go ahead and put in all these big rocks first and have no rocks whatsoever. So she's willing to go that route, and she does have her house is out there, and this is, just in summer camp east about 3 years ago, y'all did approve about 900 feet of rock for a guy named Rick Kearney. And he's hanging in there pretty good, but I'm afraid she's gonna have some trouble, and I have talked to, Abel. You know what I'm talking about? Abel, anyway, he's the St. Joe guy, but they're gonna come up with a master plan.
That's
but-
what I was fixing to say, in this area, before we get to this item, in this area, we need to look at the planning and zoning state and make sure that we go out there and check the lines, the lot lines and stuff, because that is eroding pretty bad out there. And so, we need to make a note to give the planning and zoning that when they have a request come in from that area out there, to go out there and physically look at the area and see what we're talking about now.
Yeah, I've calculated about, ever since, what was it, 2002? Is that when that got approved, summer camp?
2005 is when we had Hurricane Dana.
We've lost 80 feet since that time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It's a lot-
pretty
it's a
wild.
lot. Yeah.
And these, they're looking at breakwaters, they're looking at moving houses further back, because most of these lots don't have a house on it, got room to move back.
Well,
but
and the impact.
She's kind of stuck.
The impact, Dan, that concerned me was the impact to the seagrass bed. But it's like you said, there's several hundred feet out there.
Yeah, they are.
But still, the overwash and the underwash, it kind of scares me.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's
It-
nothing I
It
can do
scares,
about
it scares my client a lot more.
I'm not Mother Nature and I'm not God.
She's out there. But that we've, like I say, I think we've been able to demonstrate the hardship. The
Yeah.
house is permanent, and we're willing to go and make the bigger rocks, which
Do it
probably
where it
won't be
looks
going.
good. Do it where it looks good, Dan.
I'll do that, just for you.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor? All opposed, motion carries.
Thanks for your time.
And that's it for the P and Z and for
The garlic show's over.
The garlic show's over.
Yes, sir. Dan, you know I'm only teasing you, right?
Just think of what you did for the economy of Franklin County today. You can make all the Carabel dock builders happy as the dickens.
Okay. I'm ready if you are, Commissioner.
Yeah.
You just stand there.
Well,
Bobby.
I know, I didn't know if
I was fixing to say
we passed
something,
lunch, I
I'll
didn't
let
know
you
how
have it.
close
Go
we
ahead.
want for a break, or
All
just
right.
me.
No, we're
move along.
gonna break and we'll get through this and break. before we-
All right, Commissioners, for my report, item number one, inform the board that Commissioners Parrish and Watson and I attended the meet and greet luncheon on Friday, sponsored by the county and the city of Apalachicola. This event was organized to meet the new U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Commander and District Engineer of our district, Colonel James E. DeLapp. Commissioner Parrish gave a very heartfelt and compassionate speech on the importance of the Apalachicola Bay to Franklin County. There were additional speakers that supported and expanded on Commissioner Parrish's speech. I included a couple of pictures from the event in your packet, namely so you can see what Colonel DeLapp looks like, in case you see him anywhere else of any of our conferences. Commissioner Parrish said if you want to expand any, or...
I think you've done a good job, Mike. Let's
Okay.
move on.
All right, yeah, we're hungry, okay. Item two, very sad note, I regret to inform the board of the passing of longtime Washington County Commissioner Charles Brock. Commissioner Brock served as a commissioner from November of 1992 until November of 2004, and again from November 2008 until he passed on October 7, 2016. Commissioner Sanders attended the services that were held on Thursday, October 13th at 10 a.m. in Vernon at the Vernon Community Center. Very sad. Item three, inform the board that Army kitchen equipment has been installed. The equipment includes an ice maker, convection oven, warming cabinet, insulated storage cabinets, and a warming serving table and storage racks. We're still waiting for some work, otherwise known as prep tables, to be delivered. Item four, inform the board that staff has advertised the invitation to bid for Phase 2 of the Army renovation project. This phase of the project will address foundation and floor structural remediation, get it together, Michael, window renovation, ADA improvements, front door renovations, and interior renovation restoration to allow for ADA improvements. The deadline to receive bids will be on Monday, November 14th at 4:30. Those bids will be open at your November 15th regular meeting. Item 5, board action to approve and authorize the chairman's signature on a grant application for derelict vessels removal funds to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Franklin County's proposal is to remove 15 vessels for a total cost of $287,410. The county is required to put up a 25% match, so the actual grant application is for $215,557. The county's match will come from its boating improvement funds. The application period closes on October 27th. The county needs to pass a resolution authorizing the chairman to sign the grant application.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Next item, board action to authorize the chairman's signature on an amendment to the Camp Gordon Johnson contract. This amendment increases the amount of funding from the Camp Gordon Johnson Association by $12,428, making their total contribution of $133,728. The county's contribution will remain at $250,000. Total construction costs will now be $383,728. Attorney Schuler has reviewed the amendment, actually created the amendment. I need board action.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Okay, we addressed item 7. Item 8, inform the board that Mrs. Eugenia Butler gave notice of her intent to retire from her position as library assistant on October 28, 2016. Ms. Butler has served the county library system since January 29th of 2010. The retirement of Ms. Birchwell, who started on October 9th, 2007, and Ms. Butler creates a staffing shortage. With that in mind, I posted a notice of vacant position that allows qualified county employees to apply for this vacant position. If no county employees are interested by the posting closing date of October 24th, I will advertise for full-time library assistant position in the local newspaper.
So moved.
Second.
I make a motion to approve what he's
Yes.
been doing.
Yes? That-
Motion
Second.
second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I want to bring up one thing, and Ms. Aguirre has been here patiently waiting, and I wanted, some of the library advisory board, some of their justified issues are, number one, Ms. Eugenia Butler over the years has learned a lot, so she was more considered a technical support person. The problem is, the county is, based on our rules, she was hired as a library assistant, so that's what we have to advertise for, a library assistant.
That's what you did, though.
Yes, ma'am.
right? That's why you got a motion to approve.
Yeah, oh, yes, ma'am. I just wanted to make sure I got Ms. Aguirre's concerns as the library advisory board in. And in addition, there would also, we would hope that we're able to get a library director in place that actually is in position to do the interviews and hiring for this position, what would help. But as of the 28th, if we have no one in place, Ms. Wren Rickerson will be the only staff member we have at East Point. So if she's sick or she has to go somewhere, we got to close the library. Because volunteers cannot man out libraries. We have to have a staff member. So I just wanted to make sure you guys appreciate the library advisory boards, their concerns of this matter.
Okay.
And if we could do anything, if there's any recommendations, library send, I will send them your way.
Haven't they closed in the past, though, when they needed to?
They have?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Haven't they closed in the past when they
Yes, I
needed
just,
to?
yeah, I just want to make sure the board is
Thank
fully
God.
aware of the situation we're
Thank
in, because we have a true shortage, we really do. Well, we will on the 28th.
We have a true
So-
shortage in Carabel too, and that because like Carabel's seen 20-something thousand this year, and East Point seen 15,000 people.
Yes, based on Wilderness Coast, their numbers, that's correct.
Wilderness Coast, Carabel's
Actually,
seen
Carabel saw
like
more
6,000 more
Wilderness
people than they did.
So we have a true shortage, but I just wanted to reflect the library advisory boards, their concerns about this situation. So we have two applications for the director. It closes on the 21st, and then I submit them to the board for you guys to review.
Okay.
All right, so that's where we are. I'm trying to keep you guys up.
Are you finished? 'Cause I want to make
I'm sorry. Yes, sir. That's,
a motion to give, the county to give a resolution and thanking Ms. Butler and Ms. Birchfield for their service.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
okay,
Get it?
I'm sorry.
Did
No, I
Okay,
was
one
just up
second.
here if you
Okay.
had any questions. I believe Michael has shared some of our concerns.
Good, okay. Commissioners, board action to close Highway 98 on Friday, December 9th, 2016, from 4 to 5 p.m. for the East Point Christmas Parade. The route is the same as previous years, with the parade beginning at C.A. Gillespie Street, turning east onto Highway 98. The parade will then turn onto Bay Street, then turn left onto Patton Drive, ending at the East Point Pavilion. Sound like Google Maps. The traffic will detour from Highway 98 onto Bayshore Drive, and then turn east onto Old Ferry Dock Road up to Highway 98, and then turn east onto Highway 98.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
And we do it early because you guys know FDOT, they take forever now. It's not like it was before with road closures. Item 10, board action to authorize the running for the Bay Marathon event on Sunday, October 23rd. This is the 6th year of the event. Mr. Kurt Blair, TDC Administrator, informed me that the only other event that weekend is the Carabel Lighthouse Lantern Festival, which will be on Saturday, October 22nd. A copy of the certificate of liability should have been attached, which it wasn't. But I need approved, make sure you guys approve this event.
Okay, now that's running across the Apalachicola Bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember,
Yeah.
okay, remember one time they were marking the numbers on the side of the bridge?
Last year.
Y'all make sure they can't do that.
They can't spray it. Yeah, I'm gonna get with Transfield, whatever their new
Okay,
name
I
is,
just want-
and we'll all,
You need a motion to approve?
yes, ma'am,
So
please.
moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Michael, don't forget the issue we had yesterday about the meter on CC Lands Road,
Yes,
the people's here.
okay, I'll blow right through and then
Okay.
hear from it. I informed the board that I submitted a grant to FWC for Bearwise funding. With this grant, FWC will provide a retrofit kits for residents' trash containers. These kits will not add any cost to the residents' trash pickup monthly bill. These kits are easy to install and do not pose a problem for the residents or Waste Pro's use of the container. Most of these retrofit kits will be used in East Point. There's a separate grant funding we already received. We've got the kits that will be provided, retrofit kits for the residents of Lanark Village, and we should have them installed the last weekend of this month and/or the second weekend in November. And item 12, board action to approve travel and expenses for the commissioners and staff to attend the FAC Legislative Conference. This conference is scheduled from November 30th to December 2nd. There is no need to register any of you for the ethics classes since each of you have fulfilled the necessary requirements.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
And finally, inform the board and public that Forbes Street, next to the courthouse, will be closed later this week or perhaps early next week. A crane will be on that street to remove the old HVAC unit and frame from the roof of the courthouse. There will be traffic cones placed on both ends of the street, but that street will be closed that day that crane is here removing that stuff. And that is all I have.
I think we gotta bring up on the meter about
Yeah.
yesterday.
Actually from.
Got
have
CC
them-
Lands Road and Lynn called.
Have them come forward and explain.
Come up, sir.
Good afternoon. I think it's afternoon, isn't it? It
Yes,
is.
sir.
But anyway, we own property at 888 CC Land Road. We've had continuous power to that pole since 1972. We have, over the years, used the property as rental property. There's been multiple trailers there. We left the area in 1972. I served 20 years in the military, and then after that, served another 15 years with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, serving our veterans. And that's the reason for our absence from the area. Is all we need. There's an existing pole there. The only thing that needs to be done there is is Duke Power to put a meter in the service. There's always been power there, and we would like to have that done.
And the only problem is, Commissioner, is that, like you said, it was a trailer. Now he has a travel trailer, and I can't tell you when exactly it changed over. It used to be that he was Florida Power, Progress Energy, just used to assign power. Now they want the county to put a sticker on there to get the power. It's been a few years. Problem is, he has a travel trailer, and the county ordinance restricts us from putting power, giving power to travel trailers on a lot. If there's not a standard trailer with our minimum requirements or a house, the county's ordinance restricts that, and that's where we are with that dilemma.
Okay.
So, but what also the problem he's having, he uses a generator for his travel trailer, but he's interrupting the next door, who is it, sir, Coastline?
Yes, sir, I believe it is.
Yes, Coastline RV Park, they're complaining that his generator is disturbing them, so he's kind of, in a quandary. And I got this call yesterday from someone else on his behalf about this, and they've approached the chairman also. Unfortunately, my hands are tied because the county restricts using a travel trail to give power to a travel trailer.
Well, didn't we just have the same issue in Lanark Village and in Carabel and all up and down Franklin County about not having travel trailers
Yes,
with the
sir.
power? And what do we do about that?
Well, yeah, because in East Point, we made them move, and we.
Well, I mean, so what are we trying to ask the board here to do today? You want us to rewrite the ordinance,
I didn't want
rewrite the
anything, you
ordinance?
just-
or-
Well, yeah, we would have to change our ordinance in order to give.
But then you're going back into the problem we had at Lanark Village and the problem we had in Carabel
Yes, sir.
and all over the
Just
county
got 'em settled.
when you do
Yes.
that. So I don't know how to help this man without helping everybody else.
Is there any way Coastline would give you power, sir, the RV park?
I have not approached Coastline for power.
Yeah.
The length from where our property is to where our travel trailer would have to be probably would prohibit that. The only thing we'd be able to do is run an extension cord, and that extension cord, of course, I would doubt would carry the
Yeah,
load.
they wouldn't want that liability.
Why don't we address the attorney and Michael Marone to look into it and come back with us, an answer at the next board meeting? Because, I mean, I
Clerk,
don't,
read your name, sir.
Okay,
Sorry,
Norman
I-
Freeman is our name. Folks, there's a lot of folks living in travel trailers around the county. They live there as residences, and we don't live there. We have no intent of living there. We're currently here in town to provide services to my sister, who is receiving chemo in Tallahassee. We're providing transportation for her as needed, but, well,
We live in Pensacola.
we have no desire to
We
live.
have a home in Pensacola. We just want to come down here occasionally and use our land.
I mean, there's power to the pole. I mean, it's already been done. It's been there for 40 years. And only this last interruption, I mean, before the ordinance, if I understand, was written in 1985. That service was established there. I would think we should be grandfathered to that service.
I'm going to follow what the Commissioner Sanders said. Let me get more information. It's a phone call I got, so I didn't know the history of the situation.
Yeah, it was late yesterday afternoon, we
Yes.
just have to get them.
So you're right, Commissioner, I do need some more information, and then I could.
I'm gonna make a motion that we ask the attorney and Michael Marone to get together and see if we can help these people any and report back to the next meeting.
Their grandfather.
Second.
Y'all travel back and forth in the trailer? Is it driving?
Yes, it's a fifth wheel. We tow it back and forth from our home in Pensacola.
Oh, y'all tow it?
Yeah, we're residents of Santa Rosa County.
Before you leave, sir, I get you my card, and then we can start to communicate.
Okay, that's
All I
great.
got was a phone call, so I have no clue exactly what was,
Okay.
Yeah, all I got was a text message from
Yeah.
Lynn. I'd have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Thanks a lot for your
All opposed,
time.
motion carries. We'll get back with you.